did you always feel like you were Taiwanese?
Yeah,
that's what you
always.
That's what you said when you were living in
I
Austria.
was. People would refer to me as that Asian girl. So imagine my
Which is
shock when I came
odd.
here and nobody saw me as one of
Acknowledge
y'all.
that? Yeah.
I was like, I'm back home. I'm in the motherland.
And they're like,
And it's like, oh, 外国人. It's actually harder because I speak Mandarin, because people have certain expectations for me that I don't meet. There are certain moments when you can very clearly tell that I was not raised here.
国民健康操1 2 3 3 2 1
That's why you get me. That's how you separate
You don't
us.
know-
It's like,
you don't know
I have
that?
no idea what you're talking about.
How do you feel when you are speaking certain language? Do you feel like you're a different person?
Yes.
A different personality comes out?
Absolutely.
'Cause,
So it's very
'cause
context.
You said you're very funny.
I am very funny. How dare you?
No.
I didn't know you're supposed to say 辛苦了 after work.
Oh, yeah.
And the first time I heard it, everyone said like, oh, 今天辛苦了, and I'm like, it was
You're
fine.
like, yeah, 没有那么难啊。
没那么辛苦啊，有那么辛苦吗？
All right, welcome back to FUNDAY Chat. We are at part 2 with Mia.
Hello.
Can you just, again, reintroduce yourself to the people,
Again?
for those who don't know you? Yeah.
Okay. Hi, I'm Mia. I'm Wade's friend, and I'm half Taiwanese and half Austrian, and I live in Taiwan, and I'm, what am I? I have 2 cats.
2 cats?
Yes.
And what do you do for work?
Modeling, apparently.
Yeah, modeling. We did a previous episode about modeling. If you haven't seen that, make sure to check that out. So I typically refer to myself as a half-blood. But Mia claims to be double blood, a double blood princess. Maybe let's start with, how did your parents even meet? Because I think for mixed people or half or double-blooded people, a lot of people was always curious, like, in which world did these 2 people meet?
Right?
And
How did that overlap?
yeah, how did they create us? So
No, this is like every taxi ride ever. As soon as you get into a taxi, I'm like, 你好啊，去哪里? And like, 哇，你中文讲得不错哎。
yes.
哪里来的？混血啊。And where's this? And how did they meet? And then it's like,
Yes.
welcome to the Wikipedia of my life, early
So,
life.
From now on, after they ask you the question, you can just play
And
this
the link,
video for
like,
them.
Scan the QR code 自己去
Yeah,
看。
yeah.
I actually thought about that, making like an FAQ, because people all ask the
It is
same
very
questions.
frequent
How
questions.
tall are you? How did your parents meet?
Yes.
And it's lovely. I love that people are curious. It's just to them it happens like once a year, and to us it happens like 5 times a day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I wish I could tell it with the same excitement each time.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to use all the excitement I have for you right now. So
All right. Tell
my
us. the story.
parents, my mom actually my mom's Taiwanese. She was born and raised in Kaohsiung,
Kaohsiung. Wow.
south of Taiwan. She went to study in Europe.
Okay.
So she first went to France, went to Austria. She worked in Switzerland. She was a waitress on a boat. It was really cool.
So brave. Just traveling all around.
See, my mom's really very atypical for an Asian woman of that time.
Yes.
Because she was just
especially
like
back
out
then.
there. Yeah. Actually, even now when she comes to Taiwan, people always talk to her in English.
And she's a foreigner?
Yeah, and both her parents are Taiwanese, born and raised in Taiwan,
Yeah.
went to school, went to
Yeah.
college,
Wow.
had her whole life in Taiwan, and then moved abroad. But then something about the way she carries herself, the way she dresses maybe, people just look at her like, oh,
Foreigner.
外国人. Like,
Yeah.
oh, maybe she's Thai, maybe she's Indonesian. Like,
Wow.
like just fully Taiwanese. Anyway,
Yeah.
and she went to Vienna. She
Yes.
studied art at the University of Vienna. By the way, oldest university, German speaking, in the world.
Wow.
Cool. Fun fact.
Yeah.
13 something. Okay. So she went to Vienna and she got this apartment. It was slightly too big for her. And then she sublet a room of the apartment.
Okay.
Dun, 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 dun.
To
My father.
none other than your dad?
My dad.
That's so crazy.
Yeah,
They
so
were
my dad was this farmer boy. Sorry. Yes.
sorry. So they were roommates
Kind of.
or flatmates?
Yeah. Yeah. Because
That's
the funny thing is
wild.
people always make the assumption like, oh, your mom's the Asian one and your dad's the white guy that came to Asia and like
Yeah,
chose
right.
this
That's
struggling girl,
typically what
rescued her, brought her to the civilized world. People usually have this image and it might happen
Yes.
for some
Yeah.
people that
Typically,
way.
I think a lot of the case it happened that way.
Which is fine as well. It just was so different in this case because my dad was this little farmer boy from Styria,
Wow.
Steiermark. And
Is that a small town?
yeah, very
Okay.
small. I mean, sorry, it's one of the 9 counties in Austria, so it's not that small. But he came from a small village within that county.
I got
Sorry, I hope I didn't hear that. And so he's also the black sheep of the family. Like both my parents are the black sheep of their respective families.
Which brought them together. That makes sense.
Exactly. My dad, he was the only. He's an atheist. He comes from a deeply religious family
Okay.
and farmers, and they all stayed in that place, and they're very happy.
Community
They stayed within that community. They built houses there. They had their families there, and my dad just was like, I don't believe in anything. I'm going to go study. He's the only one who went to college. He brought home this Asian woman.
Yeah.
So, and he just brought home this 15 years older. He brought home this 15-year-older Asian lady.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh. They were always very sweet to me, though, I gotta say. Like, my grandparents were so loving. Anyway, sorry, so they started living together. And
lo and behold.
I mean, I'm an August baby, so I guess one winter night, it was very cold.
Well, so lo and behold came along Mia. Okay, so you were born in?
In Vienna. I was born in Vienna at the Semmelweis Hospital. Fun fact, Semmelweis was a doctor who said that you should wash your hands before you touch a patient. And he single-handedly brought down like childbirth deaths.
Yeah.
By
because they didn't know
lot.
that there was all the germs. And
Yes,
they were
and
like,
the other doctors made fun of him.
yeah.
Dr. Semmelweis, rest in
Thank you.
peace. Thank you so
for-
much.
Yeah.
So
Wait,
this
so
clinic,
this doctor is from that clinic?
the clinic was named after him. So I always mention that because I feel like he suffered a
Don't
lot
give
during his
enough
lifetime because
credits.
people made fun of him. So
Kind
it's
of like Van Gogh, right? Like they
Yeah.
do such great work and then nobody really acknowledges during their lifetime until...
Did you see that movie, I think, where he gets to travel to the present and see people admire
I
his
have not.
paintings and he's like crying?
What is that?
I
A
don't-
movie?
I'll send it to you afterwards, yeah.
Okay.
It's, anyway, Klimt travels to present day and he's in a museum, people are admiring him and he's just like, I'm
taking
gonna
it
cry.
in.
It was so emotional.
Wow.
Anyway, I was
Okay.
born in Vienna.
Born in Vienna and
Short story long, I was born in Vienna.
raised there?
Yes, I was born and raised in Vienna.
Okay. Till?
To kindergarten till 22.
Okay, till you
College.
started
thing.
work.
Yeah, I actually worked at the mall at the time, part-time. I was studying, I was in college full-time, and I did a double degree. And I worked at Hollister, folding
Nice.
jeans and dusting fake plants. You know, I have to dust them. There's so much dust on them. Oh my God.
Can you dust out plants later?
I'm going to charge you for that, though. $7 an hour.
All right, so let's fast forward.
Good.
When, what then brought you to Taiwan? And okay, before we do that, you used to visit Taiwan, I'm assuming.
I did, yeah. I
Okay,
visited
when was
Taiwan
your
a
first
lot.
visit? Like
I was as a baby.
a baby, okay.
Yeah, yes.
When do you then actually officially come back to Taiwan? Or what made you come to Taiwan?
Oh, like long-term?
Yeah.
Work.
Work,
and
okay.
COVID.
Oh, COVID.
I got stuck here during COVID.
So COVID, that was 2019. You come back, get stuck here, or do you feel like you were like, oh, let me try out?
I did get stuck, but I'm very grateful for it. I got physically stuck. I could have left, but then I couldn't have come back.
Oh, I see.
And I was traveling between Hong Kong and Taiwan at the time.
Okay.
And I came to Taiwan, and it just kind of made sense to stay. And when COVID started hitting really hard, I was like, okay, I'm not going anywhere because
Settling
I
there.
might not be able to get back in because I'm not a Taiwanese. I'm an Austrian citizen.
Oh, okay.
I only have the Austrian citizenship.
Passport. Gotcha.
Yeah. Amazing passport, by the way. Love it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So fun to
Get
travel.
around
Yes.
places.
Yeah, so grateful.
All right. So Taiwan eventually got you to stay, and
Yes.
you've enjoyed being in Taiwan? Like cultural
Yeah.
differences? What do you think?
Ooh, I think I was very ignorant in the beginning. I had this false sense of, I know Taiwan. I'm half Taiwanese. I came
Yes.
here many summers. I would stay for a couple of weeks.
And
A
you
Taiwanese
speak Mandarin.
family. I do speak Mandarin. I hang
yeah.
out with family. Everyone
Yeah.
always told me, oh, your Chinese is so good.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm one of y'all.
Mm-hmm. Until you got here.
Little did I know. There's a whole lot of difference between spending holiday somewhere and actually living in a place.
Yes.
Because on holiday, you're just always chilling. Everyone's happy to see you. Or
Yes.
just pretending your best. I don't know.
Yeah,
I hope
yeah,
they were.
yeah.
And everything is great. And then living here is like, oh, the bureaucracy. Oh, the day-to-day life. Oh, my concierge commenting on my pimples. And I was down.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
just like,
So that's a bit
explain your pimple. Like, whoa.
that's a culture shock for you, right?
That was a culture shock. And I get it. Like, I think I touched on it before. I understand it's not made with that intention.
Yes.
I
Not a
haven't
personal
fully
attack
figured
necessarily.
out a way to make it not hurt.
Okay.
I mean, hurt is a bit exaggerated, but it's like, yeah.
How it affects you.
Yeah, like, oh, you look tired today. It's
Yeah.
never nice to hear that, even if
Yeah.
you say to yourself, I won't let that affect me.
Yes.
You know, I choose how to respond.
Right,
I'm very
right.
big on stoicism right now. That's like my new thing that I'm trying to read into because I clearly very desperately need it.
Did you always feel like you were Taiwanese?
Yeah,
that's what you
always.
That's what you said when you were living
Yes.
in Austria.
I was, people would refer to me as that Asian girl.
That Asian girl.
That Asian girl. So imagine my
Which is
shock when I came
odd.
here and nobody saw me as one of
Acknowledge
y'all.
that? Yeah.
I was like, I'm back home. I'm in the
Uh-huh.
motherland.
and they're like,
And it's like, oh,
外国人
外国人呢？哦，你看外国人，哇，我不会讲英文，你就跟他讲，我不敢。
Yeah.
As soon as I enter, 说，喂，你过去跟他讲，我英文不好，你过去跟他讲。
Yeah, I also
like 没问题，我可以讲中文。
Yes.
And they're like, 还好。In Austria, a foreigner, like even a word for foreigner feels kind of condescending, like Ausländer.
Oh, okay.
At least that's a context I felt it in, and people were not super fond of that at the time. Maybe it's different now. I am a little bit older now.
Yeah.
But when I came to Taiwan, it was like this genuine, innocent curiosity.
Yes, I think so.
Where are you from? Tell me your story. And I love that. I love the enthusiasm. It does get a bit, because I want to show this same enthusiasm back, and I can't muster it all the time, every day. Sometimes I'm like, okay. But they always bring it, and I think that's really lovely. And I don't think I've ever felt negatively discriminated against.
Okay.
And I think that's something very sweet about Taiwanese people that I've experienced personally. I'm sure other people have had different experiences, but in my experience, there's a very innocent way to their ignorance. Like, ignorance doesn't mean like, oh, you're stupid. It means you just haven't seen it. You haven't been exposed to it. And Taiwan being an island also is part of the reason, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And when you talk to people, they just ask you questions. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
Okay, clearly you're just genuinely curious,
yes,
and that's so sweet.
It's
and
not like they have ulterior motives and they're saying certain things to make
warm.
You feel, yeah.
So that's my experience. I just think they're very sweet in general, and the culture shock, I think because I came here so often, I thought I knew. And I think it's also hard. It's actually harder because I speak Mandarin, because people have certain expectations for me that I don't meet. Because there are certain moments when you can very clearly tell that I was not raised here. I was working with Natalie, and a song came on, and she was singing along with everyone.
She's one of our other mixed friends that grew up here in Taiwan. Yes,
she's the one who connected us. And Natalie, she was raised here.
Yeah,
she went to school here, so she knows the songs you sing at school.
Yeah,
she knows I don't even know what I don't know.
1, 2, 3 3, 2, 1.
That's why you get me. That's how you separate us.
You don't know that?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Wow.
No clue.
That was an exercise we used to do in primary school.
Okay.
They would play this music, and then we'd get around, and then we'll start doing the exercise. And there was one part where we would have to link arms with the partner, and it was always like you try to look for the girl, and you're like a little shy, and you're like, gonna go so.
Aww.
Good times.
That's so sweet.
Okay, but that makes sense that culturally there's things that will expose you in like, oh, maybe you are more of a foreigner in that sense.
Yes, and I made a lot of mistakes, and I think people were annoyed with me because they're like, well, clearly you speak Mandarin. You probably you are so deep in the culture that you should know it. But things. I didn't know a lot of things. I didn't know you're supposed to say 辛苦了 after work.
Oh, yeah.
And the first time I heard it, everyone said like, oh, 辛苦了 and I'm like, it was fine.
Like, 没有那么难啊。
没那么辛苦啊。有那么辛苦吗？ Did I do something wrong? And I didn't say it. And people were like, why didn't you say it?
How dare you?
And I was like, oh, it's how do you say that? It's a phrase.
Term,
Yes.
And you know what's interesting?
The lack of it is rude. It's not that saying it means like you did a lot. It's like not saying it is like you suck.
But like it's interesting because 辛苦了 is actually something that can't be translated into English.
Exactly. I always struggle with it, trying to tell my friends what it means.
Yeah.
And so I can't think of many other examples, but this is one of them. I think it's enough.
Sort of applies?
No, sorry. Just the one that I already said was 辛苦了. Like there are lots of little moments like this where I messed up by not saying something or not doing something. Yeah. And I think for example, if I hadn't spoken Mandarin, I think people would have given me a bit more grace.
More grace as a, white word.
Like, but it's like, 没有说
Yeah.
And I appreciate it, but I also would appreciate just people teaching me more. Yeah. Like as it comes up, like, oh, this is, by the way, what you're supposed to do.
Right.
And taking me aside.
You know what? That's so good because I think like, obviously we've interviewed Christina as well, who's also another mix, and sort of like touched on similar topics. And I think it's always so interesting because I think I see it from both sides, right? From, let's say, the local Taiwanese side, they can't exactly know what your degree of Mandarin education
and how would
English,
they? I don't expect anyone to.
Exactly. So I think from their perspective, I would, again, try to show them grace. But I understand, especially, I think maybe more for girls, where on a daily basis, you guys might have, people super curious and like always wanting your attention and wanting to get to know. And so that can get annoying. But I think even from our perspective, it's something important maybe for us to, when we get a chance, to just clarify that like, hey, I didn't grow up here. So, I do ask questions. Sometimes I use my Mandarin. I pronounce things incorrectly. I use it in the wrong context. And they're like, I don't think you know what that means. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe not.
I don't.
Can you tell me?
Can you tell me?
I think it's a growing
one of my other mixed friends, she's half Japanese, half Australian. Sharni, love you. She told me that when she first came to Japan, she was talking to people and they would like tell her a story and they would get mad at her because they said she wasn't listening. She's like, what do you mean? I'm listening very intently. And it's actually similar as in Mandarin because as someone's telling a story, you're supposed to say, And she listened Australianly.
Not saying anything.
So she was just...
They're
and they're like, why are you not listening?
Why not making any sounds?
Why are you not making... I just spoke German, that's weird. Genau. Why are you not making any sounds?
Yeah.
So those are the little moments where there's friction.
Yes.
But you don't realize it because it's so subconscious. It's not. It's like not the top layer. So you're like, something is off.
Right.
And I don't like
really
it.
Know what
I can't quite pinpoint it sometimes, but I don't like it.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm messing up. I'm doing something wrong.
But I think, that's also sort of the beauty of being, coming from two cultures. Because, I mean, if you're just a local, then of course, maybe you just well-versed in Mandarin, maybe you know a little bit of English. But like, I think for both of us or many of us, if you did grow up with few different cultures, you kind of encompass those cultures, not necessarily completely, but to a certain extent enough, I think. Thank you, you're listening. Enough to sort of like fit in a way. And I think like obviously there are going to be knowledge gaps, and that's true for everyone. But I think for me, it's just continuous growing in that gap, right? Like you come and you immerse yourself in the culture, and then you grow and you learn, and then you're able to assimilate yourself more. And so it's okay to not know or to make mistakes. I think it's just like asking people and like getting more understanding when you have the opportunity to learn in those moments. And so for you, like, can you tell us how many languages actually do you speak?
A couple.
A couple? Well, obviously English.
English, a little bit. Actually, I used to be an English teacher. Can you imagine?
Wow.
Yeah, I got
you want to come work for us here at FUNDAY?
I got my CPE when I was 17.
Oh, okay.
I was very excited. I would. Are you serious? I would love to. This office is beautiful. Oh my goodness, they have a kitchen. Anyway, so I speak English, German, Mandarin, French.
Oh.
I did take Italian and Spanish in school. I'm not Latin. I was really good at Latin.
Okay.
Like I don't actively speak it because that's not how you learn it. But I'm really good at translating old text.
That's impressive.
Yeah, I love Ovid. That's my homeboy. Anyway.
Okay. Wait. So with all those languages, I'm curious because we actually also did interview our other mutual friend, Michelle.
Yes.
And she's also like a linguist. I don't know how you guys are able to do all these languages, but
Michelle does not get enough credit.
Yeah.
I don't think she gives herself enough credit.
Absolutely
She's just like,
crazy.
I guess I learned Mandarin and I got the Taiwanese passport.
I
just
know.
built a completely new life.
It's so wild how you guys do it. Because, again, I do feel that, being mixed, I think, again, there's a cheat code. Right?
It is, absolutely.
I get the two cultures because I just grew up with both of it. Yeah. I get the language. And so having to go and actually learn, I commend all the students that are watching or just people out there that take that adventure. So much. How do you feel when you are speaking certain language? Do you feel like you're a different person?
Yes.
A different personality comes out?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
I think it's very context.
You said you're very funny.
I am very funny. How dare you?
No. You are funny, but did you say that you're funnier in German?
I'm hilarious in German. I am.
You are?
I am. I'm smart.
I wish you can you are smart. I wish you can tell us a joke in German and we could laugh with you.
That's not okay. It's embedded in the language. It's hard to translate it.
Okay.
It's just...
Which is odd. Before, honestly, like you or knowing Michelle, most people would say German people are not funny.
Well, most people are wrong. Because some of the funniest comedians that I've ever seen are German. I watch a lot of stand-up comedy.
Okay.
Because I need humor. I run on humor as my coping mechanism. And I am obsessed with German. Okay. Did you know German dubs are oftentimes funnier than the English original?
You've mentioned before, and I don't know it. I can't relate.
I told Wade, like, you should learn German just to watch the movies. Because it's like Scrubs or The Emperor's New Groove.
Yeah.
The llama movie. I love that one. It's so funny in German. I watched it a few times and I showed it to an English-speaking friend. I was like, oh, let's watch a movie. It's amazing. And I watched it for the first time in English. I'm like...
Not as funny?
No.
That's interesting.
And it's not because I don't speak English. Clearly, I do.
Yes.
But, yeah, it didn't land. But now I'm also very good with catching, what do you call that? Like cultural remarks. I know a lot about pop culture, about history. So I get the jokes. I understand what you're referring to. I get it. I get the references. That's not the point. Like German is just so funny. Wow. We have so many words. We have words for everything. We have so many words that y'all stealing from us.
Y'all?
Kindergarten, Zeitgeist, Doppelgänger. There's so many. Or Heimweh. like longing. No, sorry, Heimweh. Sorry, that's the wrong word. Fernweh.
Fernweh is longing.
There's longing for far away. It's like homesickness, but for far away.
Interesting. Okay, so
anyway, lots of feelings.
Sorry, so which language?
Yeah.
What personality comes out? Like with German, you're more intelligent, funny, expressive.
Yeah, a lot more expressive, a lot louder, a lot.
I feel like you're very expressive in English.
With you.
Okay.
And some
so
of my
it depends.
good friends.
Okay, so you have to feel comfortable too.
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about like a Mandarin? What do you think Mandarin brings out?
Mandarin, so you have to remember, I was born and raised in Vienna, and the only person I spoke to in Mandarin was my mom.
Oh,
I didn't have any friends. I didn't go to Chinese school. I didn't have any, like there were no restaurants or shops that I went to frequently where people spoke Chinese. My mom, like imagine one person so my Chinese is
your mom's.
Sorry, my Mandarin is from a lady born in the 1950s, and then do you know the etymology nerd? You should follow him on Instagram. He's like this Harvard linguist.
Yes.
Super funny, and he talks a lot about how language evolves, how he made a bird language, but that's another thing. He's amazing. And what was my point? And he talked about how when people leave their countries, their language, the language in that place, it keeps evolving, but you kind of get stuck in that place. And also you evolve in a different direction because language is always moving and growing, whether we like it or not.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of at that stage. I don't know how to swear in Mandarin. I don't know any insults. I don't know the slang.
Yeah, because your mom never used them.
Yeah, I get goosebumps when someone says 不错吃. I'm like, huh? That's weird. So
how do you say it?
好吃啊.
Oh, okay.
So
old school.
I'm a 70-year-old lady. And even though I've come back here, I found it really hard to find very local friends. Like all my friends are people like you. Like, from all over the place.
We're pretty local. What are you talking about?
With very diverse backgrounds.
Yes,
maybe I didn't try hard enough. Maybe that's on me. But I feel like people have their like set little groups and they've been together since school. And I can just go like, hey, there's a nice group. Like, can I join y'all? How you doing? Can I be like, can I join the young Taiwanese people?
Yeah.
And my mom's the youngest in her family, and they're like 8 kids. And my mom's the youngest. So my oldest auntie is literally older than my grandma.
Wow.
On my dad's side, she's 85, I think. And all my cousins are 40 plus.
Wow.
So now I'm getting to the age where I can hang out with them. But when you're 10 and 25, there's nothing. So I've never had people my age to hang out with because everyone's so much older than me. Now that I live here, all my friends, either, they're models, so they keep moving every 3 months and they're like, we're staying in touch. Rarely. Or it's people like you and Natalie who are who have, similar backgrounds in a way. So I haven't gotten yet. So if anyone wants to be friends with me, do you want to hang out? Hit me up.
Well, you're going to have a lot of people putting in requests. But tell us, so with the Mandarin side, you do feel like, because I really appreciate that analogy. I remember when you first told me that, it made so much sense. Because it's the same thing of me leaving Taiwan with my sister when we were young and going back to South Africa and then being stuck with what was that, early 2000s, Mandarin vernacular jokes and KTV songs, which are 周杰伦 every time.
I only know 3 songs in karaoke, and it's all like 飞儿我们的爱. That's the one song, and Lydia.
So actually, like 周杰伦 basically are all the songs that I know because I like that concept. It makes so much sense because it's the same thing. I was stuck in that era. And when I went back to South Africa, yes, I spoke Mandarin, but like culturally, I was still stuck in the early 2000s. Yes. So now, slowly, I'm picking up all the new terms like...
Your friends?
Mutang. Yeah. Besides you? Yeah, I have like...
We're friends?
Jeff is my friend. But anyway, so it's interesting because I think a lot of us just assume if you know a language, then you're set. But I think to the depth of the knowledge is like understanding cultural context, being able to make a joke. That's all like really being able to have an in-depth knowledge.
Yeah, the humor is very different in Taiwan because I'm very sarcastic and very dry off camera.
Off camera?
Yeah. I love dark humor and I'm very dry, I think. But it doesn't translate super well. When I try to say it in Mandarin, people just be like, are you okay?
Doesn't make
just
sense.
be concerned for me.
Yeah.
And a lot of people say like, oh, you sound like an old person. Actually, I saw that, again, etymology nerd, great guy. And a lot of comments, it's so validating to see those comments of people who are like us, telling their stories.
Relating and saying,
yes,
makes so much sense.
I feel so seen because there's only a few of us for now. There's going to be a lot more. Oh my God,
There
the
is a
playgrounds are
lot
full.
more. Yeah.
And you're going to be contributing as well.
Yes, you
at some
too.
point. Yeah, hopefully. Cats for now. Let's see how it goes. And I thought it was so interesting that I forgot my point. But that you sound that. Oh, yeah, the comments. People say that, oh, yeah, every time I go to that part of my heritage, people tell me I sound like a grandma.
Yeah.
because that's where it's like, technically, I understand you, but there's something off about the way you phrase things, about the way you joke, the songs you know.
Yeah.
Also, like a lot of validation and comments from people like this when I see people say that they were struggling traveling with their family members if they weren't both together at the time because people would assume that you got kidnapped. I got that a lot. I got taken into secondary screening a lot. Like, is this really your mother? Are you safe?
True.
What happened?
That's so true. You know, I don't, because I think growing up, I've never felt that my dad was Asian and that my mom was South African Indian. Do you know what I mean by that?
Yes.
Just that, like, that was my dad. That's my mom.
Yeah.
And until I had a roommate back in the States, and he was also mixed, and his dad was white, his mom was Chinese. Mandarin. His mom was Chinese. And so when I went over to his place, and I'm like, wait a second, your dad is a white guy. And I'm like, that's probably how people view us. You know, other like when they see, because me being next to my dad, people will be like, who's this man, right? I mean, skin tone wise, look, they say kind of similar, but it's so interesting that we get mistaken.
Yeah, it gets really awkward as well because I was very tall for my age and I looked a bit older at the time. So traveling with my dad as like, I just looked like a barely legal Asian little girl and he was like the older white guy.
Yeah.
So I always made it a point when we were checking into hotels.
You're
I would
like,
constantly
"Hi,
say that,
Dad.
hey dad, look at this dad.
Papa."
Wow, dad. And I would, because also we have the same last name, obviously.
Yes.
So I thought, oh, they're married. You know,
Yeah.
people would get very weird about it, even though my dad is a wonderful guy. And this is like the furthest thing. I just, I cannot even think about anything inappropriate.
Of course.
But you see how people look at you and it's kind of, so my mom was like, oh, that's the nanny that kidnapped her. It's like, trafficking her. Like it's very dark.
Crazy.
And so this part I don't miss at all. Also, people think I kidnapped my sister or that I was a teen mom. So people make assumptions. At the same time, I'm also grateful because there are people that get trafficked. There are people that get in trouble. And I think it's good that people genuinely look out for each other. So I I don't blame people. Like, it will be weird to expect people to be like, yeah, of course, that makes sense. So I get that. I'm not mad about that.
Yeah. Well, so to end off here, can you tell us, we've talked about like coming from different cultures. And of course, personally, I've always said this, that in each culture, I love certain things about it, and then maybe not so much certain things about it, right? So from your perspective and from your cultural things, what is something that you would take from each and pass on, let's say, to the next generation, and why?
I'll tell you after I have kids, because that's going to be like the real litmus test of like what makes it to the next generation. Right. Hopefully, but I think about this question a lot, of taking the good of everything, because I see it all, right? I see what works really well in my Taiwanese part of the family and what maybe doesn't work so well. And then I see elements in my European side that I'm like, oh, that's really toxic, or that's really lovely.
Right.
I think in general, I like the community in Asia. I like how people stick together and take care of each other a bit more. I don't always love the nosiness and pointing things out. Right. But I'm still working on that. I think I like how in Taiwan, I feel like people are okay with being cute. Like that's something, this is really random. It's not as deep as maybe something I would like to say because I can't think of it right now. But I keep thinking about this one moment I went to the bank to open my first bank account here. And I had this bank teller, this lovely lady, probably in her 50s, 60s, which probably means she was 80 because the skin was great.
Yeah, Asian genes.
And she just had this giant Hello Kitty calculator with like stickers and diamonds, like rhinestones all over it.
Yes.
And like all these figurines on her desk. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
That's
and
so
she's not
cute.
Being judged for it. People
and she's not being judged for it. Yeah. In Austria, be like, come on, aren't you a bit old for that? Like, I like my ribbons. I like my cute stuff. It's fine to enjoy things. And here I feel like there's a playfulness to it that you get to keep, you get to maintain if you genuinely enjoy it. And you don't have to give up certain things just because you hit a certain age. Yeah. I like sharing in Asia, I like that we can order 10 things and we get to try one of everything. In Europe, everyone just orders one main dish and sticks to that. And I was like,
which actually, you know, what's really funny? I saw a video of foreigners eating at a Chinese restaurant, and then all they did was order their own meals. And so one guy is eating an entire fish, one guy is just eating a vegetable, one guy is just eating tofu, and they're all just by themselves. And I'm like, yeah, that's not the way we do it. Yeah. So I appreciate that as well.
And from Europe, I like our straightforwardness.
Oh, so being more direct in communication or what?
Yeah, in general, just there's fewer. I mean, we're polite. I think we're very, very polite. But I just like our sense of humor.
Okay.
I feel like it's very uncomplicated to organize things. The hierarchy doesn't feel as obvious. And being more open and accepting of your body. Europe is more open and there's less shaming around the natural processes of your body. And I feel like there's some stigma. Also mental health, I feel like it's still a bit stigmatized.
Right.
I've had some friends that were struggling and I offered them therapy and they said they were offended. And I was like, okay, there's this idea of, well, you should be able to heal yourself. And would you say that about someone who broke their leg? Like, well, it's natural, so your bone will fuse back together. You don't need crutches. Just relax and it'll be fine. Yeah,
so the mental thing, I think in Asia hasn't necessarily picked up as much as as Western cultures.
Yes.
And so that does make sense. But I think it is slowly people are moving. It is
changing, I feel. I'm trying to be very open about it. So if I'm making plans with someone, I'm like, oh, I can't make it, I have therapy. And I'll just like put it out there. So
talking about it and sharing it.
Kind of normalizes it. Like, oh, you go to therapy? I was like, you know, it's like I go to the gym. You just maintain and keep going and hopefully get, become a better version of yourself all the time. And it's quite like, I used to travel to Korea a lot for some reason. And my medication is illegal there. So I cannot, because I have ADHD.
Oh, okay.
And I have my prescription medication that it's really funny. People's like, oh, you're going to get addicted. You know how often I forget to take them? I take it like once a week, but I should be taking it every day. It's like, and then I forget to get my prescription filled. I forget to pick it up. I forget my appointments. It's amazing. It's like the whole thing. It doesn't matter. Anyway, that's not the point. But it's very stigmatized. I feel a lot of things about this are still stigmatized, and I feel like a lot of people could really benefit from talking about their feelings. Maybe saying I love you more, hugging more. I know that's a big one for you. Like
physical touch,
more warmth, and people always joke about like the way you say I love you is like fruit.
Oh yeah,
cutting up some fruit for you.
When your mom gets upset with you, and then they did something wrong, and they bring you the fruit, and that's sorry, and you in Asia you accept that.
So being more vocal about love. I do see younger people doing that too, like younger parents nowadays, like oh, babe, ania, like this is different. My childhood was like,
I do think though, like you're saying, that as cultural is evolving and changing, we're slowly seeing more and more people do that. I think what's beautiful is that as we globalize, we're starting to recognize there's all variety of types of people coming from all different types of backgrounds. And I think as a whole, people are adopting different things from different cultures.
Traveling more than ever before. I feel like I'm taking bits and pieces of every place that I've traveled to, every person that I've met. I've dated a lot of different cultures as well. I'm like, and I met their parents sometimes. And it's like, oh, that's how it works. And I really like that. I'm gonna keep that. And I want to create my own little. How do you say that? My own little.
Yeah, I think a little hybrid.
Oh my God, thank you so much. It was sitting at the tip of my tongue. I was like, hybrid, hybrid culture, and get better and better. And my kids hopefully are going to, take everything they like about me and what I give them. And then they're going to be like, I didn't like how mom did this part. I'm going to change that.
Because it's not going to be perfect.
And they're going to evolve, hopefully.
Perfect
because perfection is death. That's why we say it in German. Anyway.
But thank you for that, because I think that's exactly how I feel too. Even same with my sister, that all of us will take every part of the things that we've learned and the best of a culture and best of our experiences, pass it down to the next generation, and hopefully just continue to do the same.
Not just the next, also the previous one. I'm trying to gentle parent my mom and my dad and trying to give them insights. Yes. So this is really I'm turning around and being like, do you want to try that? And like I said, it's a bit awkward sometimes, but I feel like there's a lot of love and grace in it.
Yeah. But I think that's necessary too. It's just showing, when we learn, like Spider-Man, right? With great power comes great responsibility.
Yes.
And so I do think, that's important for us, for the next and the previous generation. When we have the knowledge, to pass that along. And
I think that's evolution. We're just going to get better and better and better. And no matter how hard we try in 100 years, people are going to look back and say, oh my God, those cavemen in 2024 already thinking, look at this primitive technology. The newest things to us right now will be old news to someone else, but that doesn't mean we don't get to try our best.
Yeah, wow, well said. Well, so we thank you so much for sharing your experience and, some of the insights, because again, I'm also double. I'm gonna use that now. I'm also a double-blooded person.
You know, it's from Harry Potter. I didn't just make it up randomly.
Right.
Like a half-blood prince.
Yeah, so I really, can relate, and it's very insightful. And so hopefully you guys also found it insightful, and thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me. Have fun editing my mess. I'm very rambly, but again, maybe just, it uses to do to destigmatize ADHD a bit more as well. But I enjoyed.
Because the connection, that's the thing, conversation.
Yeah.
It starts and then it branches out and then we sometimes come back.
It is fun though. And I feel like it feels like a real conversation because that's how we talk when we're not on camera as well. It's
exactly.
like, I wanted to finish 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
It was really fun. Thank you so much. Hope you guys had fun.
Hope you enjoyed this episode. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.